Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video I will show you one of my ideas for the next DLC. As you know, GTA Online is in a horrible state right now, with flying cars, bikes, and the one button instant killing orb cannon. In my opinion, it's time that tanks get back their original roles and rule the lobbies. Of course, not like the old days, where nothing could beat the Rhino, but getting better. So, as you know, the Rhino tank in today's GTA can only take 4 RPGs and 4 homing missiles, which is quite bad. So, now I'm going to show you how tanks should actually be, like as a patch maybe, and let's begin. So, we're gonna start with the Rhino tank, and I'm going to list all the tanks. So, first of all, the cannon firing distance. As you know, Rhino tank has very poor range, and because of that, you can't really kill enemies or literally anything that is further than like 50 meters or so. So, in my opinion, the Rhino tank should get a buff in the cannon's firing distance to get 3 times as much. I'm gonna show you how I mean that. So, we're gonna teleport right here. The normal firing distance for the Rhino tank is that. As you can see, this long, it's not that much. From here, the Rhino tank is pretty close. While in real life, tanks are used for not for close range. So, my idea would be to extend it 3 times. At least to this point. Or even the whole airfield here. That way, the Rhino tank could get more useful, and we could introduce bullet drop physics for the Rhino tank. Second off, the coaxial gun. So, as you know, the Rhino only has its main weapon, but here, as you can see, it has a coaxial gun. It's even rendered and made, but you can switch from the tank cannon. So Rockstar should add the coaxial gun as a Rhino tank custom, or maybe as the normal Rhino tank. It depends on that. Next thing would be the top gun. This gun should have a purpose. The Rhino tank could have a passenger. Here, you could get in as a second person, and then you could shoot this MG. This would make the Rhino even better. Now, the armor. In my opinion, tiny pen-sized missiles should not damage the Rhino tank, because it has a lot of armor. So, in my opinion, the armor should be so strong that homing missiles do little to no damage. And you would say that this is overpowered, but it won't. The Rhino tank should have an armor that it can take 12 RPGs, and it should not take 12 RPGs here, here, and here. You know, it should have different armor levels, like originally. So let's say the front should take like 15 RPGs, the size like 12, and the back end, let's say 10. And maybe if you get lucky and you can shoot the top, you could shoot it down by 6 maybe, just saying something. So, another thing about the Rhino tank would be its reload time. The reload time is ridiculous, because, as you know, in real life they cannot really reload the tank cannon this fast. In real life, if you can reload the tank cannon in 6 seconds, you're a legend. So, in my opinion, we should increase the reload time to 5 seconds. So it would be somewhere around this. As you can see, it would be much more balanced. And combined with the coaxial gun, you shouldn't really shoot your cannon at just a ground target. I mean a walking target. Another thing would be very good, that would be the countermeasures. As again, it's already on the tank, these smoke grenade launchers. They could shoot smoke around the tank, and because smoke grenades are pretty hot, it would make lock-on impossible. So, even with other missiles that I'm gonna talk about in another video coming soon, are not going to be able to lock onto you. So, I think this is all about the Rhino tank. We should move on. Next vehicle will be the APC. The APC that is the only vehicle on this list that should have less armor. Because the APC is not an actual heavy armored tank, it should not really have that super amount of armor. So, my opinion, it should only take, I mean, I'm not pretty sure how much homing missiles it takes, but it should take quite some, but not too many. On RPGs it should take 8, and again it depends on where you hit it. Like here it should be more, 8 and then less, maybe on the top maybe even less, more or less. But this is all about the armor. So again, I would like the APC. I mean, this is something we may never get, but the cannon's projectile. So let me again go to the airstrip. As you can see, I have modded game, and in the modded game I already did it. I mean, I downloaded the mod for it, but the APC should shoot like this. Tiny explosives. Explosives like the B11 shoots. As you can see. And of course the reload time. With this kind of cannon, the reload time should be like, I don't know, 2 per sec. So kinda like this. But a tiny bit slower maybe. I don't know. Hello? So, another thing would be again the cannon's firing distance. Even though it shoots these tiny ones, I don't think it should shoot them only to this distance. It should at least be doubled, if not tripled, as I showed you guys with the Rhino tank. And again, the last thing I'm gonna talk about for this vehicle would be the countermeasures. This thing should also have smoke. And again, with smoke on, no homing missile or anything should be able to lock onto you, and players could not really see you. That's all about the APC. Now we're gonna move on. To the PL01, or I always forget its in-game name, the Kinjali, yes. The Kinjali, again, its cannon firing distance should be greater. As I said, it should be as much as the airfield, or around there. And then we could have like lucky kills and stuff like that. Its armor should get increased as well, but it should not be stronger than the Rhino, because it's lighter than the Rhino, so it should not really have much more armor, but it's still going to be pretty good. So in my head, I thought that it should take like 10 RPGs. Again, this is like an average, so more on the front, again same in the on the sides, and less in the back, or something like that. And again, as I said, with the Rhino tank, its cannon reload time should be increased to 5 seconds. In real life, it has a 6-second reload time, but does not really matter right now. 5 seconds will be good in GTA. In real life, it does not really have a coaxial gun, so that's a minus, but it should have stealth mode. And just like the Kula, it should get off the radar, but that would be too overpowered if it would work just like the Kula. So my idea would be that you go off the radar because of stealth mode, and then when you deactivate stealth mode, you cannot fire any weapons for 10 seconds, so that you cannot really surprise attack. I think that would be a nice addition. And countermeasures. So for this tank, I thought something special, because so other than the smoke, you could choose an active protection system, so that it creates like a aura, I don't know how you pronounce that, around the tank that explodes every and any missile that comes in it. So let's say you've been locked on by an air-to-ground missile, you activate this, and for like 5 or 8 seconds, I know, you will be there will be an active protection system around you. So that could be pretty cool. So this is all about the Kinjali. And now I thought I would show you how the armor should change, you know, like I'm gonna borrow this clown vehicle from these clowns. Okay, I'm gonna put missiles on it, and now I'm gonna show you how much should the Rhino tank actually take. I fired quite a few missiles on it, still alive. Gonna look at it. It had 1000 health as you can see right here, 1000, and now it's it's down by just 100. So the clowns are burning to death. So now look at the health meter. It just takes down like 10, so like 1% of the health. So this is how strong Rhino tank and other tanks should be against like these tiny, look at those missiles, it's just tiny. So thanks clowns for borrowing your vehicles. And for the end, I thought I would bring something special. Because we are talking about tanks, I thought I'm gonna talk about something new. So, an idea. A tank that should be added to the game, in my opinion. If the next update will contain some kind of weaponized vehicle, this would be very high on my list. The vehicle is the Tunguska. It's a Russian ground-to-air attack vehicle. As you can see, looks kinda epic. The driver can be shot out from the front, so it won't be too overpowered. It should have the same armor as the new armor of the Rhino, so 12 RPGs on the side, 15 RPGs here, and maybe 10 at the back, and maybe 8 if you can shoot at the upside. Sorry, my English is not very good. So that's all about the armor, but you know, what is this vehicle capable of? Its speed is quite slow, so you could easily run away from it. It's slower than the Rhino, so yeah. It should have 2 missiles, and I thought about this. So there, in my opinion, there should be like 2 upgrades. There should be the first one, which is infinite missiles, and you can lock on to targets, and then it would shoot 2 missiles at the same time. But it would not be locked on. It would be, I don't remember what it's called, but if you shoot the missile and then look away, they should follow where you look, you know. So this would be very effective against, let's say, helicopters. Like there's a helicopter and then you shoot, you look at the helicopter, and then the missiles will try to go that way. Of course, it would take a lot of skills, it wouldn't be a very easy kill. But it would be interesting and it would be a new feature. The next upgrade, I mean, that's the usual upgrade, would be to just add the normal, you know, homing missiles. These, if you hold down, they will shoot 2 at the same time. If you just press, it should only shoot 1. And this, with this setup, it would have a 50 missile or 30 missile limit, load limit. It depends on your ideas, on your opinions. So the other weapon would be the 30mm guns. As you can see, they look pretty deadly. These are the same caliber as the A10, and sadly this is not really animated, I should say, so it does not really move, but it should move like this. And the mod's creator made it explosive, so it's quite loud. made it explosive, but in my opinion that would be too overpowered, so it should be like the half track. So the half track's back rear cannon. That should be the damage, but it should be very fast. So I know, like, I mean, this speed is pretty good. This speed is pretty good, but it should only shoot non-explosive bullets. It should be able to look higher, so not just this high, but let's say, oops, let's say like this high, so it should have higher angle to attack. And kinda, that's really about it, this tank. And because, I mean, tanks would be pretty overpowered if they would be like this with this armor and taking so much RPGs, so there should be a new weapon. The new weapon could be a high explosive anti-tank missile launcher. Heat missile launcher in short. The heat missile launcher should take 5 to kill a rhino, 3 to kill an APC, 4 to kill a Kenjali, and again 5 to kill a Tunguska. So, I mean, wait, nearly forgot that the heat launcher should only be able to have 5 ammo. So, as with the RPG, okay, I have a mod in that increases the limit, but with the RPG you can hold 20, the homing missile you can hold 10, and then with the heat missile launcher you should only be able to hold 5. Of course you could purchase more ammo from the interaction menu, but that, you know, takes time. And this way tanks would be good, and with the smoke, and this thing would have smoke as well, and as well as active protection system. I don't know about the Rhino, maybe that should have as well. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And this was me, Pentaboss, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.